Welcome friends. So today we're going to be adding a front, what I'll call a lip, to the front end of a muck frame. If you normally attach this to the points on the ends of the front part of the chassis, you will see that this part here, the tip, will extend a little bit too far, and then you won't be able to clear this box right here. So this box, right now I can clear this, as you see. It fits with no issues. There's some space in the front. And what I've done here is something that I'll call ingenuity. So here, I've positioned it so that instead of mounting this plate from these last 2 points here, I'm mounting it from the second to the last points, the second to the last holes. And the way to do this is you create a riser system where you have these, I believe these are 3mm spacers, aluminum spacers, and there's a set of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right underneath these screws. So this is just for reference purposes. We're going to make this into a more permanent part. I just wanted to test the concept to see that it would work, and yes it does. So what I've done was I've basically mounted this front part here, which is a sliding damper, and yeah, I've mounted it with these are steel lock nuts, and yeah, screws, but I'm going to change them to countersunk screws. So we're going to countersink holes right where these screws are so that it will clear the 1mm measurement stick. So as you see here, there's a slight upward tilt angle, and that's really cool. That's really good. So let's take a closer look like this. You'll see there's space underneath, and really it will clear the 1mm right now, but we don't want those screws to be touching onto the track, because scratching the track is a no-no. You are DQ'd on certain tracks if you scratch their track, so it's best to try to countersink your holes as much as possible underneath the car. So we're going to do that. We're going to remove these screws, and we're going to countersink holes in them, and yeah, we'll be good. So let's do that now. Now, this requires a little bit of finagling to get into place, so it's not as easy as like, I'm just going to screw these things in using this motorized screwdriver, this electric screwdriver. So I have to really work on getting this to be attached. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of know what you're doing to be able to do it. So here, I'm just going to remove these, because at first you'll think that, oh, it doesn't fit, but it actually does if you know how to do this using the risers. And then you have to angle the screws in so you can get everything to kind of slot in place. And we're not stressing anything on the chassis, I don't think. At least I didn't feel much stress while I was affixing the screws into the holes and through the parts. So I think we're good there. So okay, so normally to attach these plates you can use smaller screws, but I'll show you the exact length screw that we'll need to be able to attach the plates on all 4 posts. Okay, so now this is, yes. Now you can remove these screws easily with your electric screwdriver. There you go. I also want to add a little bit of an underguard to the underside of the tail plate, because I want to try to prevent this from affecting our cap screw situation here. So these cap screws, they can snag onto the edge of a track if you're not careful. So having something like this will be able to protect our car from snagging on the front. So we'll have it underneath, and I'll attach it with a lock nut. So yeah, these are long screws, so it'll require a little bit of patience to actually attach them on. Okay, so you see these are long screws for the sliding damper, and there are shorter screws for the ends of the tail plate. And you have these 3mm aluminum spacers right here. You'll need 4 of these. And we'll set this sliding damper aside. We'll just got to make sure that the spring is in place right here. And just attach this like so. And as you see here, it doesn't require a bottom piece. It just slides on top here. And yeah. Oh, what was this? Oh, yes. There's a trick that I was told to do, which was to put a piece of plastic inside the spring. Yes. So that's your pro tip of the day. This goes inside the spring. Just like that. Goes right there. Cool. And we place this right on top. And I had already pre-greased this. I feel all the grease right now in my fingers. There we go. We'll just leave it like that for the time being. And I've marked these holes here with my silver paint marker. And so we're going to countersink them with our countersink tool. So this is what we're going to use. This is not the best tool for the job. You can use a Dremel. You can also use an actual drill that will countersink holes. But what I do here is I try to rotate back and forth, up and down, and then keep it there and turn all around, and that'll create the hole. So if you're not patient, you're not going to be able to do it. So you have to be patient. Let me show you the technique so you'll be able to see. Okay, the technique goes something like this. Unlock this. Here we go. Okay, so this is the first pass at it, and we're going to try to place our countersunk screw in to make sure that it's deep enough. And it's probably not deep enough at this point, but that's okay, because we're going to keep working at it until we get a countersunk hole that's deep enough. So, this is what we have so far. So this is still got a little bit of bump right there. I want to feel flatness. I want to feel like a smooth transition from the plate itself to the top of the head of the screw. So that's not quite there yet. And this one, same business. This one here, same business. And this one here, same business. So we have to do this a couple more times in each hole, at least. So if I were to boil this down to a method, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horizontally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertically, and then straight down the middle. for 5 counts. Let's see, I think the look of the hole is nice. So let's take a look now. All right, it's much smoother now. Could be a little bit more. This is not as smooth on this side. This is smooth. And this is smooth. So I'll do them all again, concentrating a little bit more on this hole here. Okay. Beautiful, flat. Beautiful, flat. Beautiful, flat. And beautiful, flat. Now, so if you take a close look at how I countersunk these holes, this is, see how deep that is? That's how deep the screw should be. The screw hole, that is. So that you can easily pop this in place, and it's flat. And you see, there's like a slight little edge all around the screw, so that it sinks right down in there. That's how flat you want this to be. Okay, so now that we've countersunk our holes, let's swing back here to the table, and we are going to start attaching all the pieces. So the first things first is to see if we can attach this part here. So I want this to be right behind here, like so. Let's see. So here I've, in the past, attached sponge on here. And so a little bit of residue is left on there. So I can continue picking it off, or I can just flip it to the other side and use the other side. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I want to do is I want to attach from these 2 points here, right on here, I believe. So I think that's going to be good. And I think if I attach it right on here, like so, then we should be good. I'm hoping. If it's not going to work, then it's not going to work. But I'm going to attach something here, so it goes out back here. So that means I need to countersink more screw holes here and here. So let's do that. So we'll do that again. So you see the thought process that's going on here. Little by little, step by step, you just have to do things one at a time until you position things the way you want them to be positioned. And so you have to have patience in the whole process. You can't just rush through things. So that's a valuable lesson for anyone. Kind of see, you can kind of eyeball that this hole here has not been countersunk as deeply as this one. So we're going to continue on here. It takes about 5 attempts to countersink before you get a hole that's wide enough. 4 if you've got a heavy hand. Okay, let's test our screw in here. It's looking promising. Yes, flat. And almost. A little bit more. Nice and flat. Yes. Okay, so we will need little screws to attach this plate onto here. And so we're going to take little screws out of our screw box. Okay, so here we go. We have these two things here. I'm hoping this will work. I haven't tried it yet, but we're going to try it now. So here we need a spring washer for both of them and a lock nut. So here we go. One spring washer for there, one spring washer for there, and we have a lot of lock nuts. So yeah, I'm going to be giving away lots of spare parts in the Liberty Cup that I'm hosting soon, next month. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. So we use our 324, handy 324 lock nut wrench. So yeah, 324 makes these awesome tools. And we're going to place a spring washer here and a spring washer here. And we're going to place this here. I already have my 324 out. So yeah, I've got two 324s. And it's a necessary evil to have two 324s. Let's just do this. There we go. And do this. Okay. And tighten it up. If you really like the way it is, you can always glue it together. Okay. So there we go. Let's see if this works. So I've got this thing going on here, and I'm going to attach this onto here. I think that'll work. Yeah, so... Oh, that might not work. There might not be enough room for this. Darn. I guess you can't do it. Oh well. That was a nice try, I think. I do have a popsicle stick. Let's see. Maybe the popsicle stick will work. I'm not sure. I'm going to find out. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Or maybe flipping it the other way. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if this works before we discard this. So we flip this way now. Okay. Let's tighten it up. Tighten it up. So yeah, we want to do this underguard thing because we want to prevent the cap screws from snagging. Let's see. Ah, it might actually work. Yes. Okay. So the big question is this going to really do its job as an underguard? So we're going to have to kind of pretend that this is like here. And I don't know. We're going to find out if it works. So yeah, that's the joy of experimentation, I suppose. Let's try this first. Do it sort of intelligently. Attach these 2 points first. Good. Attach these a little deeper. Okay, good. Now we'll add these here. Like so. Oh wait, let's just attach these first. So once you gain a little more experience in what you're doing, then things become a little bit more straightforward, easier. And not always, but usually. Oh, where's the other one? We're missing the other. We're missing the last. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're going to slot these two last screws in place. Ooh, that turned. How about this one? Come on, last screw. You can do it. Get in the hole. Yes. Maybe. No. Last hole is always the hardest. Okay. Good. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think that's it. So, against our slope checker here. Very nice. Against our flat board. You see there's space underneath the countersunk screws. You can put a 1mm brake under there It should be fine. Yeah. There's slight warpage, but that's because we're using countersunk screws this time instead of just regular screws. And the front looks good. And I think we can attach this on here now. Our sliding damper. Our washers. Our lock nuts. We're using steel lock nuts, not aluminum lock nuts. When you attach all of this in place, you want to make sure that you still have that 5-degree angle with the front plate onto the top part of the chassis. Hopefully we will. We did when we had regular screws. Okay, it's not sliding as much, so let's loosen it a little bit. Okay, that's better. There we go. The 5-degree tilt forward angle. Nice. So here, good. Good. So now we can attach the weights on here. And our lock nuts. We can use aluminum for the top ones. We can attach our cowl back in place. And we are done. Now we can put a brake on here, a 1mm brake. If you have a white brake, you can use that. If you have a blue brake, you can use that. Yeah, we can cut a fairly large strip here, and then we can adjust it accordingly. So what I like to do first is to attach some Tamiya tape on top so that removing brakes will be a lot easier. In the past, I would just stick them directly on the plate, and that's not good. It's not a good idea. You want to be able to easily remove the brake if you need to. Good, and now you can attach the brake on top of here, just like that, and cut the portion you need. So that's it, we're done. Very, very cool. So yeah, this is how you can attach a tail plate onto the front part of your car, and it's going to fit inside the box. Lots of room. There you go. Lots of space. So here's an example of the rear plate for my mock frame. So here we have a tail plate along with the plate that attaches to the rollers. We have these weights right here attached right here on these endpoints. We also have an aluminum spacer right here, 1.5 millimeters, in between the chassis and the tail plate. I also have sandwiched right underneath 2 washers. I could have adjusted them to 1 washer instead of 2, and I might change that in the future. But yeah, 2 washers definitely works. And then I can basically attach this tape right on top and attach my brake right on top of that. So there you go. Now we're all set. And this fits right into the box, just like that, with room to spare. Very cool. It also fits the slope checker. So the slope checker, right here, I can place a 1mm brake in the front. I can affix a 1 or 2mm brake in the rear. So everybody, if you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.